Hey, it's Ryan Deeter here with Real of Ohio. In today's video, we're just going to look at what sold in the Clintonville market in the last week. We're sitting here at 926.25, and we're just taking a look back for the last week from Friday to Friday, what has actually sold to keep you up to date on what is going on in the Clintonville market. So let's jump into it. Okay, you can see this is the MLS platform that the realtors get to use here, and you can see the blue dots are all the closed sales in the two zip codes of 43214 and 43202 that make up the Clintonville area. And we're just going to start from north to south as we go through what's sold. If you're interested in learning more and getting a list like this, I'm happy to send you a weekly list if you're interested. But you can see here there were, I believe, 9 homes that sold. You can see a quick snapshot. 9 homes that sold. And going back to the map, we're just going to go from north to south here as we head up just a little north of Graceland here. You see there on Kiwana, there was a house closed 226 West Kiwana. And I'm just going to dive into these really quickly. This sold for 290. It's a 2 bed, 1.5 bath. Only 684 square feet, 1,000 square feet total with the basement space. If you see this, this means that this is above grade. This is included in extra square feet, whether it's below grade or even an attic space sometimes can be included in that. And so, yeah, back to I think this is condo on Fenway. You know, sold for. We got 299, so just under three at 1984, 3 bed, 2 bath, 2.5 baths there. Going into the Beechwold neighborhood, we're seeing on Weisheimer. That's how you say that name if you've seen it before. Weisheimer sold for 425. So 164 East Weisheimer sold for 125, 1,600 square feet, 3 beds, 2 baths on that one. On to the next one. Going south into what's called the Northmore neighborhood. We got 2 homes that sold here. The first one looks like on 57 Amazon Place, 725 is is 4 beds, 2 baths, 2.5 baths on that one, 2,400 square feet roughly as we go into that one. And if you want to see some pictures, some of these I like to jump into. We'll kind of dive into to see the condition because there's always 3 factors when it comes to what homes typically sell for. Is and the first one's location. Obviously, you see on the map. There's obviously a variety in location and pricing. The second thing is condition. As we see, the condition of this one is, I would say, medium, where it's not the latest and greatest. But what's that? Is that some kind of? It looks like a kind of dog shower or something like that, right in the off the kitchen. But it's got the bones and character that a lot of people want in Clintonville. We see the hardwood floors, the trim, nice open spacing, good size. But in the Northmore neighborhood, not surprised that this sold for what it did for the size it is as well. So, little snapshot into that. 57 Amazon. Moving just south in the same neighborhood, we see a 525 on Orchard, 146 Orchard. Little Cape Cod, and it's 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,400 square feet. Let's take a look at this one. Obviously it's, style also is a huge factor into attached garage, which is a nice feature for Clintonville. We don't see often. So it's got a little breezeway connecting it. Nice hardwood floors throughout. Beautiful finishes here. But style matters. So the traditional 2-story versus Cape Cod, the traditional, just 2 stories, traditional 2 stories are going to be a little bit more valuable. And then ranches as well. There's some ranches scattered throughout Clintonville as well. Those are typically sold for the highest price per square foot because those are available for almost anyone and everyone. The 2 stories make it anyone with bad knees or just want single floor living. You obviously are not going to look into 2 stories, so that kind of eliminates a lot of buyers there. Going into the central of Clintonville, we see this one here on Oakland Park, and this is the highest price point we see this week at $895. This Victorian home here was one of the original farmhouses in Clintonville on the first house on the street on Oakland Park. We can dive into this one a little bit. I'm a little biased on this one, but it's a beautiful home right in central Clintonville with some grand architecture. And just, it's classic Clintonville. What people love about Clintonville is that you get a lot of character. But you still have space. You still have yard space. You still have a little bit of breathing room when it comes to, city living, but yet you have a lot of character that you find in these older homes. This is a 1886 home. Again, one of the first homes built in the area, and just got some really cool features on this one. 3 stories, and just a beautiful home. But I'm a little biased on that one. If you know me, you may know why. Going south of Broadway here, this is, and what I would tell you, we'll do another video on this, but Clintonville, the regions of Clintonville, the High Street, Indianola, Broadway, Henderson here make a huge difference on location and value. So south of Broadway here, and then west of High, the prices will fall quite a bit compared to the Northmore area that we showed those other 2 houses in. I see here a pretty modest house, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 11 or so, 1,000, just under 1,100 square feet. And then you add the basement, you get 1,400. Let's take a look at this one just to kind of show you the difference between the last few that I showed you, kind of when it comes to price points. But yeah, it's a nice little house. They did a good job finishing it. Cozy little fireplace there, some corks that you see, a lot of corks here in Clintonville that just make Clintonville what it is. A lot of quirky houses, fun character, but also, some unique features that we see from house to house. And that's why I love Clintonville, because, no 2 houses are the same, and you just never know what you're going to get when you look at these houses. So rounding out the Glen Echo neighborhood, has 2 homes that sold. And you see here, this is east of Indianola, north of Hudson here. This is considered Glen Echo. There's a little ravine right here. It's got a nice little park to it. And so 266 sold in Summit Street here for $555. And looks like 1,900 square feet, so just under a little extra bonus space, either in the basement or somewhere. This is a really cool house. It's 4 bed, just 1.5 bath, which is also often a big factor in pricing is the bathroom situation in Clintonville. 1 bath to 2 bath, it's a big difference. Even 1.5 can make a big difference between 1 and 1.5. But really cool, unique house. Kind of the classic architecture in the front, and then you get some unique, modern features added into it. You still get that hardwood floors, classic mantles here. Some AI staging there to see what it's like, but never a huge fan of. But kitchen's kind of nice and big space, kind of retro style. I did not get in this one, but hard to, looks like this is actually, looks retro style, but it's actually, probably original when it, or probably somewhat dated in a sense, but just kind of those retro styles kind of coming back. So, anyways, kind of a fun one to see as well. I love this little space. I love the little fireplace here and this little extra room. That's really cool. So, see there, kind of old school bathroom too as well. And on to the last one, just south of that one, just around the corner, we see same street, 2612 Summit Street. Another kind of, very similar house, really. Kind of classic with some modern features on it as well. Obviously 615, it's a little bit higher price point. Nice big stone fireplace there. It's definitely not original. They had someone put that in. A more modern, updated kitchen. So you're seeing the difference between the last one and this one is a good, including about $75,000 more for this modern kitchen for the same street. Nice big open kitchen there. Nice back patio. Sorry if I go through these pretty quick. This is what I do every day, all day. So it's like I can get a snapshot of what a house looks like very quick. I'm always happy to send you more videos. You can see just a little bit more modern feature and cool back patio here. 3 seasons room probably. And look at that bathroom, the owner suite can make a huge difference in Clintonville. Cool modern owner suite here. And that's a big deal in Clintonville. Very few houses have the owner suite, especially this size. And so having an owner suite this size is a huge deal in Clintonville, and why you saw it break that 600 barrier, even though the homes in that neighborhood, Glen Echo, tend to be less than a lot of the other homes in more central Clintonville, or even Northmore there. So that's what sold. Again, if you'd like to get a list of this, you'd like to see what sold in your inbox, let me know. Happy to send this to you directly. Or if you just want to know what's going on in the Clintonville market, reach out. Happy to have a conversation. I'll see you next time.